Winter temperatures sweep into Oklahoma. The search is on for dozens of people after Hurricane Michael, and the Cowboys are sticking to their guns and banning scooters from campus. This is OU Nightly.
Hello and thank you for joining us on OU Nightly. I'm Sam Brown.
And I'm Ashely Eddy. Temperatures across the state have dipped down into the 40s and 50s due to a cold front coming in from the north.
Parts of the Oklahoma Panhandle even saw some snow over the weekend, and freeze warnings were issued late into last week. Staying warm during these temperature changes comes with some very possible dangers.
While those walking on campus resort to hoodies and scarves, space heaters and electric blankets are just a couple of examples of things that could easily catch on fire if left unattended at home.
We definitely see a lot of increased calls coming this time of year whenever people are turning their heating systems on, whether the heating system's malfunctioning or dust coming out and making the smoke alarms go off.
The Norman Fire Department recommends keeping an eye on space heaters at all times and making sure only one is plugged into each outlet. Speaking of cold weather, is it winter? Is it winter?
It might be, Sam. I'm not sure. We might have skipped a season. And right now we're going to toss to Joe DeCarlo. He is live outside. Joe, what do you have for us?
Thanks, Andrea. We're live outside right now, and the sun has come out this afternoon, helping the warm temperatures up to around 50 degrees. However, the strong winds out of the north continue, keeping our wind chills in the lower 40s and upper 30s. These temperatures are about 30 degrees below average for mid-October. So if you have any plans this afternoon, definitely bundle up if you're going out this evening as temperatures drop back into the lower 40s and upper 30s this evening. Andrea will have more about how long these cold temperatures will last coming up. Back to you guys at the desk.
All right, thank you, Joe. As temperatures fall across the Sooner State, more kids in Norman will be dressed warmly regardless of family income, thanks to Assistance League Norman. OU Nightly's Baylee Bates takes us to Operation School Bell, where students can get a helping hand.
It says let your spirit fly.
These smiles are priceless, and so are these clothes. Students from Reagan Elementary shopped on the dime of Operation School Bell. Since 1978, Operation School Bell has been offering new clothes to kids who qualify for free and reduced meals. With the help of volunteers, kids can pick out a coat, shirts, pants, and even shoes.
Ooh, I love high heels. Can I try them on? They're kind of nice. They get me some clothes.
Yeah. This is for a little girl?
Maybe a skirt. Kind of awesome.
It's a dress.
Reagan Elementary is just one of 27 schools that participates in Operation School Bell here in Norman. Assistance League Norman has provided 1,040 kids with clothes this year.
Just knowing that I'm making a difference in this community, you're providing so much more than just new clothes. There's so much more. I mean, that's just like the first ripple in the pond.
The nonprofit is doing what they can, but they still only reach a fraction of the students in free and reduced meals. 50% of the students in Norman Public Schools are in that population. That is around 8,000 kids.
That looks pretty.
Do you like it?
Operation School Bell serves that population of kids, and so it's really important that those kids, their basic needs of clothing and hygiene kits and self-esteem are met here at Operation School Bell.
To reach more kids in the future, Assistance League is asking for volunteers and donations to continue putting smiles on the faces of Norman's future. Baylee Bates, OU Nightly.
Thank you, Baylee. Assistance League Norman has a goal of clothing 2,500 kids this year after clothing nearly 2,000 last year.
It's been 5 days after Hurricane Michael hit and killed 18 people. Officials say this number could most definitely rise. Dozens of residents are still nowhere to be found. Search crews are sifting through rubble in search of between 30 to 35 people. The fire department has received more than 200 calls for checks on residents, but they say it could take days or weeks for all of these checks to be completed. And following the aftermath of the storm, President Donald Trump is now visiting Florida. Austin Hernandez joins us in News Center. Austin, what is the president doing during this time?
President Trump and First Lady Melania Trump are visiting Florida and Georgia to observe the damage Hurricane Michael left behind last week. They began their visit to Florida with an aerial tour from Marine One over areas affected by Hurricane Michael. Afterwards, the President and First Lady went to a distribution center where they helped pass out supplies. The Trumps are expected to meet with officials and first responders in Florida and Georgia today. Senator Elizabeth Warren released her results of a DNA analysis showing she has distant Native American ancestry. This was an attempt to prevent further questions if she decides to run for president in 2020. Today, President Trump waved off Warren's DNA test results, telling reporters who cares.
No, I have no. Who cares? Who cares? I didn't say that. No, I didn't. You better read it again. I hope she's running for president because I think she'd be very easy. I hope that she is running. I do not think she'd be difficult at all. She'll destroy the country.
The Saudis are preparing a report that will acknowledge the death of Jamal Khashoggi was the result of an interrogation that went wrong. Khashoggi was a columnist for the Washington Post and was last seen entering the Saudi consulate on October 2nd. Saudi authorities maintain Khashoggi left the same afternoon of his visit, but his fiancée, who was waiting outside, says she never saw him. And after years of struggling financially, retailer Sears has filed for bankruptcy. Back to you on the studio.
All right, thank you, Austin. Oklahoma State University has notified scooter rental companies they must remove all vehicles from their campus. Both Limes and Bird began arriving on campus at the start of the semester. However, the companies do not have permits to operate the scooters in Stillwater. OSU released a statement saying the vehicles must be removed by 5 p.m. this afternoon. The statement also said, quote, any scooters that remain on OSU property after this deadline will be impounded by the university until they can be retrieved by the company. Any parked scooters on campus should be reported to the OSU Department of Parking and Transportation Services. Also, right now, a change.org petition to keep the scooters on campus is circling in Stillwater and has gathered thousands of signatures so far.
The final phase of rail construction for OKC MAPS 3, the Oklahoma City streetcar, was scheduled for today. But this morning, construction crews were still working in downtown OKC. The completion of the rail was postponed due to weather. Finishing the last portions of the welding would mark the end of the rail construction for the project and for street closures. Streetcar service for Oklahoma City is expected to begin December 14th.
Oklahoma's leading anti-tobacco group says they can cut adult smoking by nearly 50%. We've got more on what they proposed to the state's legislature.
Plus, Tulsa's Gathering Place Park seems to be the place to go. Stay with us.
Welcome back to OU Nightly. Oklahoma's leading anti-tobacco organization says there will be new opportunities to cut tobacco use when a new class of lawmakers takes office. The executive director of the Tobacco Settlement Endowment Trust unveiled proposals to cut the state's adult smoking rate nearly in half. These changes include raising the legal age to purchase tobacco to 21 and increasing penalties for selling to minors. Smoking accounts for about 1 in 5 deaths in the U.S., making it the leading cause of preventable disease and death in the country.
Since Tulsa's Gathering Place Riverfront Park opened last month, officials say more than 300,000 people have visited. The $465 million park full of skate and bike tracks as well as sport courts is one of the largest in the United States. The park was financed by the George Kaiser Family Foundation and other local donors, while the city invested $65 million in infrastructure. City leaders say the park is a model for racial and cultural inclusivity. And it's almost time for the annual Improv Festival in Oklahoma. Olivia Whitehead joins us now in E-Report with a staff advisor and student from Obviously Unrehearsed Improv. Olivia.
That's right, guys. I'm here with Jay Edwards, an OU Improv staff advisor, and Caitlin McIntosh, who is currently involved with the troupe. Thank you guys so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
Okay, so this weekend is the 10th Annual Improv Festival, Oklahoma. So for starters, can you kind of explain a little bit about what improv is and kind of what the event is going to entail?
Improv is really a hard thing to define. I know that every single person who participates in the practice of improv, which is really everybody in some way or another. It's just a really great way for me, at least, to express myself in a way that I'm most comfortable with and in a way that can make other people laugh.
Yeah.
And this Friday and Saturday evening, we invited about 18 troops that do improv theater from around the state and around the country to come and bring their own angle to how they do improv. And we have a wide variety of ideas and thoughts about how that goes.
Okay, perfect. So y'all are part of the obviously unrehearsed improv troupe. Can you tell me a little bit behind how the troupe got started and a little bit about it?
Well, I first joined the troupe last fall, and really anyone can join, anyone who has a passion for it, and it's just a whole lot of fun. I know, just because it is improv and it is obviously unrehearsed, as what our name might suggest, every practice and every show, I just have as much fun as everyone watching and listening because we're just funny people.
Yeah.
And it really started around the turn of the century when a bunch of friends in their apartment were kind of reenacting Whose Line Is It Anyway and having fun on their own, and then they became students at OU.
Wow.
And they said, hey, if we become a student troupe, we can actually perform in front of people.
Exactly. Well, perfect. Thank you. Can you tell me about when these performances are for people that are wanting to see them?
The performances this weekend are Friday and Saturday evening, Friday starting at 7 and Saturday starting at 6. Each show starts at the top of each hour, and there will be 2 different troupes for each show.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you guys so much for talking with me today. I'm really looking forward to seeing the performances this weekend. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you, Olivia, and thank you to our guests. In case you haven't noticed, it's still cold. It is cold outside.
Just a little bit.
A little bit.
Andrea is standing by with more on that cold front that came by yesterday.
Yeah, guys, we're taking a look downtown here. Sure looks beautiful, but it's definitely chilly. We'll have more coming up after the break. Welcome back to OU Nightly, guys. We're taking a look at our cameras downtown here. We've got our Norman cam, Skyline cam, and it's looking beautiful outside, but it is very chilly like we saw earlier. Now for our radar forecast, we've got this high pressure system sitting right off here in the west, and that's moving out towards the east, and that's what's bringing all that northerly cold air into Oklahoma for the time being. Now you can see as that moves east, this front continues to move out across the country, and that warms us up a little bit as the week moves forward. Now, for our watches and warnings right now, we do have a freeze warning and a frost advisory in effect for tonight. Now, for tonight, we have a lows in the mid 30s, low 40s across the state, 39 in Norman, so just a touch warmer in the metro right now. Now, for our day planner, we've got 41 at 8 a.m. and then warming up to 50 by 5 p.m., partly cloudy skies. Now for our highs tomorrow, we're going to see highs in the upper 40s, lower 50s, so a little bit warmer, but still much lower than our average for this time of year. Now for Tuesday and Wednesday, we're going to be cold, partly cloudy. PM rain chances are going to start on Wednesday as a front moves through. And then for the rest of the week, we're going to be seeing highs in the low to mid 60s for the end of the week and sunny skies this weekend. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Andrea. The Pauls Valley Regional Hospital in southern Oklahoma has closed its doors and suspended ambulance service. This closure comes after the hospital narrowly avoided being shut down last month. The hospital declared bankruptcy in 2013. The Pauls Valley Police Department said an ambulance service based in nearby Purcell would serve the area throughout the weekend. The nearest hospitals are about 27 miles away in Purcell and Arbuckle.
After their bye week, the Sooners are back at it as they prepare for a trip to Fort Worth, Texas.
Tevis Hillis is here to talk about how they've been getting ready for their date with TCU.
The Sooners look to get back on the right track this weekend in Fort Worth. And we've seen some bad first pitches in baseball. Here's the football version. Sports is next. OU football had a bye week, but that did not stop the Sooners from moving up to the top 10 on the AP poll. This weekend was full of upsets and near upsets. Ohio State and Clemson also benefited from the crazy Week 7. The Buckeyes moved to number 2 and the Tigers to number 3, right behind top-ranked Alabama. Georgia, West Virginia, Washington, and Penn State were upset after being ranked in the top 10. Kelsea Bickerstaff is here to talk more about the loss in the Red River Showdown and how to rebound against TCU. Kelsea?
Yeah, Tevis, the Sooners are resetting after a loss to Texas and a week off. The team has been working hard to get back on track and adjusting to some changes.
I think we got a lot of good one-on-one work in, good on good work in. It was competitive all week, and I think that'll come into this week. You know, everybody's refreshed. I feel like having the week off. So coming in, going to TCU, I think it'll be a good week of practice for us, and we'll be ready to go.
And I feel like last week, you know, with everything happening, I feel like we've been taking it in well and just kind of controlling what we can control and fix the things that we need to fix as players and as a unit, as a defense. So I just feel like we've been having the right mindset, and we're ready to get back to work today and get prepared for TCU.
And Tevis, the defense will get their first action under new coordinator Ruffin McNeil. Kickoff is at 11 a.m. Back to you.
OU women's basketball season is getting back in action, and they are inviting the community to come to their showcase. The team will be practicing in a variety of drills and skills competitions Thursday, the 25th at the Lloyd Noble Center. Admission is free. The men's basketball is prepping for the new season as well. A couple of the players will also be busy tonight, right, Lauren?
Yes, Tevis, a pair of Sooner stars will be our guests on Sooner Sports Pat tonight. You can see the show all week long on Fox Sports Oklahoma or tomorrow at 5 o'clock right on OU TV after our newscast. Junior forward Matt Freeman and grad transfer guard Miles Reynolds will join us in studio. We will also have the story of women's guard Jaleesa Pizzo and how she helped the rebuilding efforts in her native Puerto Rico. Plus, we'll preview this week's important football matchup with TCU. All that and more, Tevis, on this week's Sooner Sports Pat. Back to you.
And Week 6 in the NFL was highlighted by the Patriots' thrilling 43-40 win over the previously unbeaten Kansas City Chiefs. The win was yet another landmark in the career of the quarterback Tom Brady. The GOAT picked up his 200th career regular season win for Coach Bill Belichick. The Pats now trails KC by just one game in the race for the AFC's best record. Moving to Dallas, the Cowboys dominated the Jacksonville Jaguars 40-7. Dak Prescott set a career high with 82 yards rushing and a touchdown on the ground. The win gets the boys back to the 500 on the season. Next up, Dallas visits Washington for the first in the NFC set East on the line. And now one man will never play quarterback in the NFL. UFC star Conor McGregor was a guest of owner Jerry Jones. Even though he lost his fight, he still seemed to give the team a pep talk. Good thing he didn't throw any passes in the game. Guys, I'd like to say that I am a better quarterback than he is. I can throw a ball. Not athletic, but.
I've never seen you throw, but based on what I saw from him,
I believe it.
You believe it?
Believe you.
Okay, I'll take that.
I'll take that. Absolutely. Thank you, Tevis. The British royal family is about to get a lot bigger. Stick around for more on the newest potential heir to the throne.
I'm McKenzie Gladney at the OU Nightly Update Desk. The Texas Department of Transportation released the report on a crash involving a Norman public school bus. Law enforcement confirmed the bus hydroplaned while turning on a left-hand curve. The accident happened Saturday, September 29th near Lampasas, Texas, when the group was on their way to SeaWorld for a class trip. The school district confirmed that there is one student still in the hospital. For more updates, follow OU Nightly on social media. Back to you.
Just a few months after their marriage, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle will be adding a new member to the royal family. Kensington Palace announced that the Duke and Duchess of Sussex are expecting their first child next April.
Yeah, this baby happens to be quite a historic one. Not only will he or she be the first biracial child in line for the British throne, but also the first with American heritage.
All right. And thanks for watching OU Nightly, brought to you by the Gaylord College at the University of Oklahoma.
We'll see you back here tomorrow night live at 4:30.
Good night.
Have a good evening.